Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now, continuing my series of my favourite albums from each of the years, 1965 to 1989. This year is 1982. Now, after this one there's going to be four more of these, and I do know the order. The next one will be 67, followed by 89, followed by 79, and then the last one will be 1973. I will do one more video after that, taking all the number one albums that I have chosen and putting them in some sort of order. So for 1982, an excellent year again, and it's going to be a top 30. And as normal, there are three bubbling unders, and I could have had so many bubbling unders, but I'll pick three. And one is George Harrison, Gone Trouble. Very underrated album with the fantastic Wake Up My Love. I do love the synth in it. That's the Way It Goes is your standard George Harrison slide guitar type song, but it's one of his best ever. And one song I really like that nobody seems to like is Baby Don't Run Away, with the vocoder and his vocals. I think it's great. I think this is an upbeat George Harrison album, and he sounds as if he's having fun in it. That's probably the reason why I actually really like it. Another one is Graham Parker, and it's another grey area, and it's a decent album. The single off it was Temporary Beauty, which is great. Big Fat Zero is another good song, and You Hit the Spot. It's just a good Graham Parker album. And the third one is ABC, The Lexicon of Love. Four huge hit singles with Tears Are Not Enough, The Look of Love, Poison Arrow, and my favourite, All of My Heart. And there's some other good songs off it as well, like Many Happy Returns, but really it's the four big singles off the album that make that. Okay, so at number 30, and I have Orange Juice and Rip It Up. Now, this is the band that Edward Collins was in, and I struggle a little bit with his voice. He's got a bit of a crooner voice, but the title track itself is the best song off this. But it's an absolutely brilliant track, which was released in 1983 as a single. It was a big top 10 hit here. But you know, Flesh of My Flesh was a single which is pretty good, and I Can't Help Myself was actually the first single, and it is extremely catchy. A Million Pleading Faces has almost got like an African chant to it, and he doesn't take the lead vocals, I don't think, in that. Mud in Your Eye, as I say, he's almost crooning the song, but it is very good. Louise, Louise is a very delicate number, which is probably my second favourite off this. And then Tenterhook is a beautiful song. It's almost done in a waltz style, which is pretty good. It's a good album. I have another Orange Juice album which is not anywhere near as good as this, but this just creeps into my number 30. And at number 30 we have Freda, Something's Going On. Now, this was actually released before the last two ABBA singles, so technically ABBA had not actually disbanded, even though they never really did, but that's another story. Produced by Phil Collins. You can hear it on the single I Know There's Something Going On with those drums, and it's a really, really good track. It's a little bit reminiscent of In the Air Tonight, but it's very, very good. Tell Me It's Over is a good rocker to start with. Now, I will say that this album is far away from ABBA. She wanted an album that just completely distanced from the ABBA sound, and that is what she's got. The best song off this is To Turn the Stone, which was written by Pete Bellotte and Giorgio Moroder, and it was for Donna Summer's album in 1981, which never came out, called I'm a Rainbow. It is absolutely brilliant, and there's a good video of it on YouTube. Strangers is a very good song as well. Threnody, I think it's got a bit of a Mike Oldfield feel to it. There's even a Brian Ferry song off here called The Way You Do, which I think is great. I know Elvis Costello actually offered a song, but it was refused, so he could have been on it. Here We'll Stay is a duet with Phil Collins, and it sounds like a Phil Collins song. It's a very, very good album, and it came out, as I said before, the two last ABBA singles. So Freda, Something's Going On is my number 29. At number 28 I have Elton John and Jump Up, and I don't like the cover of this. This is good because it's got two of his best ever 80s songs off this, Empty Garden and All Quiet on the Western Front, which are absolutely brilliant. Princess is okay. Dear John is a little catchy rock number to start with. Ball and Chain, again a little acoustic number in the middle, which is very, very good. And the big hit off this is Blue Eyes. It's a little bit scrappy and patchy in places, but whenever this is good, this is brilliant. I think that's my number 28. And at number 27 we have Mike Oldfield and 5 Miles Out, and this is the one with Taurus 2, which is the full side, and it is excellent. The highlight of this is the actual track 5 Miles Out, which is one of his best ever singles. Family Man is not a bad track, and Mount Tidy is pretty good as well. It's a good standard 80s Mike Oldfield album. He's done better, but he's certainly done worse, and it gets my number 27. At number 26, and this was a huge hit, and it is Rio by Duran Duran, and this is the one with the hit singles Rio, My Own Way. Now, My Own Way is a different version to the original single from 81. Hungry Like the Wolf, and of course Save a Prayer. But Hold Back the Rain's great, as is Lonely in Your Nightmare, brilliant, and New Religion. This is their best album without a doubt, and it gets my number 26. And at number 25 we have Roxy Music and Avalon, and the title track is magnificent. It's probably the best song he's ever written. The other two singles were More Than This, very good, and Take a Chance Up With Me, which I think is really good as well. One highlight is While My Heart Is Still Beating, which I think he did live, or they did live, and it's on that live DVD from 82, which I think is great. The main thing's good song, Space Between, and To Turn You On, very good. It's very, very smooth album. It's almost like an audiophile type album. It's just a beautiful sound, beautifully recorded, and it gets my number 25. At number 24, and we have Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and Long After Dark. Yeah, this sometimes gets slated as well, but it's one of my favourites of his of the 80s. One Story Town is brilliant, and You Got Lucky is brilliant, although it does have loads of synth. I love it. Change of Heart's a very, very good rocker. We Stand a Chance is good. Straight Into Darkness is my favourite track off this, and I think should have been a hit single, although we never had any hits over here for some reason, I don't know why. And A Wasted Life, the very last track, is like a sort of a slow song, but it's absolutely beautiful. So Long After Dark gets my 24. At number 23, and we have Stiff Little Fingers and Now Then. And this has got Bits of Kids on it, which is brilliant. Talk Back was another single, which is very good. Falling Down's a good opener. Is That What You Fought the War For is a really good rousing closer to this. Other good songs are Touch and Go, Stands to Reason, Love of the Common People, brilliant cover version of that. And incidentally, Paul Young released Love of the Common People at the end of 82 as well, so the two of them came out more or less the same time, although Paul Young's was re-released again in 83, a year later. And The Price of Admission is a very good single too. So Now Then is Stiff Little Fingers' 4th album, and they split up after this. So it gets my number 23. Number 22 we have Vacation by the Go-Go's, and this is their second album after Beauty and the Beat, and I think this is every bit as good. Vacation is a great opener, hit single in America. He's So Strange is very good. Girl of 100 Lists I absolutely love, it's probably my favourite off this. It's Everything But Party Time I think is great. Get Up and Go, a single, very good. Beatnik Beach, excellent as well. Cool Jerk, the cover version of, I can't remember who did it, but again it's a good song. It's probably the weakest off this. We Don't Get Along and Worlds Away, very good, sort of jingly jangly, punk influence, almost power pop influence as well, new wave pop, and I think it is very good. Go-Go's and Vacation. At number 21 we have Toya and The Changeling, and this is her follow-up to Anthem, and the only one single off this, which is Brave New World, which is one of her best, absolutely excellent. Creepy Room, the opener, is weird but it's good. Street Creature is brilliant. Angel and Me is one of their best ever songs, really strong track. Dawn Chorus I love. Run Wild Run Free, very good album, and this was coming the end of Toya being mega successful. It did okay in the charts, but Brave New World I don't think managed the top 20. I think it was around 20 something, could be wrong. But Toya The Changeling gets my 21. And at number 20 we have Tu Raye by Dexi's Midnight Runners, and this is the one with Come On Eileen on it. And Jackie Wilson said the Celtic Soul Brothers was another single off this, and it was re-released. I think it became a hit the second time in early '83. But other great songs off here, like Old, very good. All in All is a very good song, and Let's Make This Precious is a good album. Maybe not quite as good as the previous one, but Searching for the Young Soul Rebels. But yeah, very good. And I guess my number 20. At number 19, and we have Fleetwood Mac and Mirage. Yeah, when this is good, it's very good. I love Love in Store, the Christy McVie song, the opener, brilliant. Can't Go Back is like a Lindsey Buckingham solo song, but it's really good. That's Alright, the Stevie Nicks song, actually comes from way back around the Buckingham Nicks days. It's like a country track, love it. Book of Love's very good, and then you get one of Stevie's best with Gypsy, excellent. Empire State, not as keen on, as I'm not as keen on Straight Back either. But then you get three crackers in a row with Oh Diane, which was a hit single in '83 for them. Hold Me, love it. It was, I think, the first single off the album. And then Eyes of the World, which is sort of a little bit of a reworking of the song Stephanie from the Buckingham Nicks album. But it's a very, very good album. For me, it's much better than Tango in the Night, so it gets my 19. At number 18, I never liked this when I first bought it, but this has really grown on me, and it's Squeeze Sweets from a Stranger. It opens up really weirdly with Out of Touch, which I think is great. I Can't Hold On is a very standard song, and it's not brilliant at all. Points of View is a beautiful song, could have sat on East Side Story, no problem. Stranger Than the Stranger on the Shore, really good. When the Hangover Strikes was the second single, a very brave choice. It's a good song, but not a good single. But you do get Black Coffee in Bed, which is one of their best ever. I've Returned is fine. Tongue Like a Knife is good. This House, Her Home with Chris Difford singing, excellent. And The Very First Dance and The Elephant Ride, both good songs. It is a good album, but it takes a bit of getting used to, and it gets my number 18. At number 17, and we have The Jam and The Gift, and this is the one with Town Called Malice and Precious on it, and Just Who Is 5 O'Clock Hero. Now there are a couple of songs I'm not as keen on in this. I've never liked The Gift itself. Trans Global Express is Paul Weller's voice is really sort of in the background, you can hardly hear him, but I do actually quite like that now. And I've never been a big fan of Carnation, which everyone seems to love. But there's some brilliant songs off this, like Running on the Spot and Ghosts, Happy Together, really, really good. And I love The Planner's Dream Goes Wrong, which everyone hates. But it is a good album, but I still think it's actually probably their weakest album, or their second weakest album, but still good enough to get number 17. At number 16, and we have Upstairs at Eric's by Yazu. Yeah, two big hit singles off this, Only You and The Flying Pickets took that to number 1 a year later. And Don't Go, which is very good. Bad Connection, such a catchy little number. Midnight really does show that Alison Moy could sing really good. I Before E, Except After C, it's experimental, I'm not that keen on it. Winter Kills and Tuesday and Goodbye 70s is very, very good. It's an excellent album. Their two albums actually were really good, and then they disbanded, and Vince Clarke went on to form Erasure. Although he did do the Assembly first with Fergal Sharkey. But anyway, Upstairs at Eric's gets my number 16. At number 15, and we have Imperial Bedroom by Elvis Costello. The singles off this were Man Out of Time, which is great, and what was the other single off this? You Little Fool, which is another really good one. Beyond Belief, I think it's a great track, great opener, and Tears Before Bedtime is one of my all-time favourites of his. I just absolutely love it. Little Savage, Human Hands, The Loved Ones, all good songs. I think this was produced by Jeff Emerick, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the songs, you know, they do take a bit of getting used to, but this is a real grower. And I think I remember way back in the day, people were saying like this was his Sgt. Pepper, but I don't know, it's still a very good album, and it gets my number 15. At number 14, and we have Susie Quattro and Main Attraction, and this is a brilliant album. The first side is almost like the smoky type Susie Quattro of You Can't Give Me Love and She's in Love with You, with songs like Heart of Stone, Main Attraction, Cheap Shot, She Knows. But the second side is more contemporary music, like Candyman, Remote Control, I think it's the Candyman that sounds a bit like the Human League. Transparent's good, Fantasy and Stereo's very good, Oh Baby. It's a very good album, but it is an album of two halves. I like both sides, and it is really weird because you think it's a different artist whenever you put on side 2, but it's an excellent album, and it gets my number 14. At number 13, and we have Billy Joel and the Nylon Curtain, and this is the one with Allentown on it. Brilliant. Pressure, very good. Goodnight Saigon, a really, really good track as well. Side 2, She's Right on Time and A Room of Her Own. Some of this is actually quite Beatlesque. Scandinavian Skies is one of his best ever songs. I remember seeing a video I had of his from Long Island, and he did that, and I just thought, yep, it was that song that actually made me go out and buy this. And Where's the Orchestra is okay, it's the last track on the album, but this is one of his best, and it gets my number 13. At number 12, and we have Altered Images and Pinky Blue, and this is their second album. Their first album was very dark. Their third album was almost very sort of dancey, disco-y. This is the very bubblegum type music, which is brilliant. The big hit off this is I Could Be Happy, followed by See Those Eyes, and then Pinky Blue was released. But they do a version of Song Sung Blue, which I really, really do like. And Forgotten is great. Funny Funny Me, it's all sort of really, really catchy stuff. I wouldn't play this more than once in a row, you know, I wouldn't play it over again because it could get a little bit annoying, but I still love it. Pinky Blue gets my number 12. At number 11 we have Angst in Our Pants by Sparks, and everybody loves that cover. I don't, I'm not that keen on it. This has got some great songs like the title track, I Predict, Sextown USA, so catchy. Sherlock Holmes is one of the best ever songs, and one of the singles, I don't think it was released over here, is Eaten by the Monster of Love, which is one of my top 10 Sparks songs. Really, really good. Tarzan and Jane, Instant Weight Loss, The Decline and Fall of Me. Very good tracks, and it gets my number 11. At number 10 we have Simple Minds and New Gold Dream, and the three singles were Promised You a Miracle, brilliant. Glittering Prize, my all-time favourite Simple Minds song, and Someone, Somewhere and Summertime. But other great tracks like The Big Sleep and Colours Fly and Catherine Wheel. I bought this in 1983, the year after it came out, just for Glittering Prize, but the album is really, really good, and it gets my number 10. And at number 9 we have Grace Jones and Living My Life, and this is her second best album. Side 1 of this is brilliant. My Jamaican Guy, single released in 83, absolutely love it. And then you get Nipple to the Bottle and The Apple Stretching, which I think was an A and a B side. I think The Apple Stretching was the A side, maybe a double A side, but I love both of those songs. Side 2, maybe not quite as good, but it's still pretty good with Cry Now Laugh Later, Inspiration and Everyone Holds Still. This, Behind Nightclubbing, is her second best album, and I think it is excellent, especially side 1. Absolutely love it, and it gets my number 9. At number 8, and we have Dire Straits and Love Over Gold. Yeah, this is the one with Private Investigations. What a track. You never expect it to be a hit single, but it did get to number 2 in the charts. Telegraph Road is an epic, and even side 2 with Industrial Disease, which is sort of a precursor in sound to Walk of Life, which is great. Love Over Gold itself, the live version was released as a single from Alchemy a couple of years later, and It Never Rains, another really good song. So there's only 5 tracks off this, but again, this is up there with Dire Straits' best. Maybe behind Making Movies, on occasion it is the best. So it gets my number 8. At number 7, and we have Blancmange and Happy Families, and the big hit off this was Living in the Ceiling, love it. And then Waves was released at the start of 83, I love it as well, although the single version of Waves is different to this. I prefer this version, the single's got strings all over it, this is better. I Can't Explain and Feed Me, I think were singles. I've Seen the World is one of my favourite tracks off this. There is a little instrumental called Sad Day, which I absolutely adore. God's Kitchen, I think, was a single as well. Excellent stuff, and this is their best album, and I guess my number 7. At number 6, and we have Adam Ant and Friend or Foe, and this was the first one he released after disbanding Adam and the Ants. The big hit off here, Goody Two Shoes, although again this is different to the single version. I do prefer the single version this time. Friend or Foe, love it, always have loved it. It should have been a number 1 hit, it just managed to scrape the top 10. Other songs that could have been released as singles are Something Girls, Place in the Country, and especially Crackpot History and The Right to Lie, I think would have been massive. The third single actually was Desperate But Not Serious. Good song, but not great single material. And he does a version of The Doors' Hello, I Love You, which is pretty good. I really do like this, love the album, and it gets my number 6. And at number 5 we have Kate Bush and The Dreaming, and this is the one with Sat in Your Lap on it, which was released as a single the previous year, but it opens up this album. The Dreaming itself, full of Aboriginal instruments from Australia, absolutely love it. There Goes the Tenor was a single, and it's a bouncy little song. Didn't get on the whole story, but I don't think it was the right choice. I think the right choice was actually Suspended in Gaffa, which I think is great. I think it was a single in France. But other great songs are Get Out of My House, Houdini. Night of the Swallow was released in the Republic of Ireland, which I managed to get a single of that. And the other one I really do like is Pull Out the Pin. So a very, very good album, and it is my favourite Kate Bush album. They say it's very experimental. It is, but I think it's very melodic as well. So number 5, Kate Bush, The Dreaming. Number 4, it's a double album, and it is XTC and English Settlement. The big hit off this is Senses Working Overtime, excellent. Ball and Chain was a single as well, as was No Thugs in Our House, all great songs. Jason the Argonauts is great, All of a Sudden is a very good song, and Snowman is one of the most underrated XTC songs. I think it's great, but there is a couple of songs I don't like off here. Melt the Guns, I Can't Abide, and it's far, far too long. And It's Nearly Africa is not brilliant either. This was also released as a single album, but if you look at the track listing, Melt the Guns and It's Nearly Africa are both on that single album. If I was to release it, I would not put those on, I would put other songs on it, but still a brilliant album, and for me it's their second best album, and it's my number 3. Or number 4, sorry. Number 3, and it is Paul McCartney and Tug of War. This features some of his best ever songs ever, even as a Beatle. Tug of War and Wanderlust are absolutely brilliant. They're top tier McCartney songs. Take It Away is a really good single. Ballroom Dancing is one of the catchiest things he's ever done, and The Pound of Sinking, which is like 2 songs stitched together, but it works so well. Get It, I really do like. It's a little bit of rockabilly with Carl Perkins. Dress Me Up as a Robber is the experimental one, but I think it really works. Ebony and Ivory, should it be on here? Yeah, why not? I do like it, although funny enough I do prefer his solo version, which you got on the B-side of the 12-inch. A couple of songs I'm not as keen on. What's That You're Doing with Stevie? It's good, but it would have been better on a Stevie Wonder album. Somebody Who Cares is a standard enough ballad, and Here Today, I know it's heartfelt, but I just don't think it's that great a song. But still, Tug of War gets my number 3. And at number 2, and we have Nick Lowe and Nick the Knife, and this is an album I play an awful lot still. Opens up with Burning, which is great, and then a reggae version of Heart, which first appeared on the Rockpile album. Stick It Where the Sun Don't Shine, good song. Queen of Sheba I love, and My Heart Hurts is one of my favourite Nick Lowe songs, followed by another one, Couldn't Love You Any More Than I Do, absolutely beautiful. Let Me Kiss You is great. Too Many Teardrops, excellent song co-written with Carleen Carter. Badoom is fun. Raining, Raining, absolutely beautiful. One's Too Many and 100 Ain't Enough, it's okay, it's not the best, and Zulu Kiss is pretty good. Really strong album. It's up there at being my top 3, 4, possibly 5 Nick Lowe albums, but I still think it is very, very good. That's my number 2, which means my favourite album of 1982, and you can see everybody unsubscribing now, but it is Queen's Hot Space. Why is this my favourite album? Well, it is one of my favourite Queen albums for a start. I think it works so well. There is a sound to this. yeah, if you compare this to the Game, I think Game is like 10 songs thrown on to an album, and there's no cohesion. This is very cohesive. Starts off with Staying Power, absolutely brilliant opener, and then you get the really heavy Dancer, which does have a bit of a disco sound to it, but it's really a rock track. Back Chat I really like, although I would have preferred it to be an instrumental. Love the music of it, but the way the words and the music are exactly the same tone, I'm not as keen on, but still it's pretty good. Body Language I love, even though I don't even look at it as Queen, I just look at it as Freddie. And Action This Day, absolutely brilliant Roger Taylor song. So side 1 is excellent, side 2 is every bit as good, even if it's slightly better. Put Out the Fire, one of Brian's best ever rockers for me. Life Is Real is a standard enough Freddie ballad, but I think it really does work. Calling All Girls is magnificent, should have been a single, was in America, should have been over here, but wasn't. Las Palabras de Amor I absolutely love as well, and to me it's like a Save Me type song, but much better. Cool Cat is gorgeous, it sounds just like Chic, in fact they're out chiking Chic in that, and then Under Pressure. Now they say this is an album of two halves. You get your sort of nightclubby disco-y stuff on side 1, and then you get your standard Queen stuff on side 2, which is kind of true, although if that was to be totally true, Cool Cat and Action This Day would have swapped sides. But still, I absolutely love this. What I will say is that myself and James Griffiths and John, the 6-inch pianist, did a video on this last week, and it's on James Griffiths' channel. I will put a link to it. It was really good fun, by the way. We're all wearing moustaches, and we talk about Hot Space for the guts of an hour. I'll put a link, as I say. Have a watch, and that'll tell you why I love this so much. So my number 1 album of 1982 is Queen's Hot Space. Okay, that's me for now. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll have 1967 coming up pretty soon. Okay, all the best now. Bye bye.